Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
It's a windy Wednesday out there today. Gusts up to 35 miles per hour. I'll show you the hour-by-hour wind gust forecast coming up.
Deadly standoff. A family member says the man who shot two people and himself is dead. What some speculate prompted the deadly encounter. And parents' Bill of Rights. Lawmakers and parents square off over a measure some say is discriminatory. It is a windy Wednesday, and it's going to be a lot warmer as well. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu. And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Chris Lovingood. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is tracking our next weather maker that brings gusty winds and some colder temperatures, Amy.
That's right. I stepped out just briefly today in between newscasts. It was already pretty windy. We have this front that's our next weather maker on its way. Ahead of it, the strong southerly flow and gusty winds will be with us through the afternoon into the early evening hours. And then behind the front, we will have some colder temperatures arrive. So this is a look at the wind speeds, and the gusts are in the white box. As of now, we have a gust at 23 miles per hour in Southern Pines, 22 mile per hour gusts in Rocky Mount. We're sustained at 16 miles per hour in Raleigh and Durham. So already pretty windy out there, and it will stay windy through the afternoon. We could see gusts anywhere from 30 to maybe even close to 35 miles per hour. So hopefully everybody has already secured their outdoor decorations for the holidays, so nothing's flying around. It's still breezy through the evening, but it starts to let up a little bit overnight tonight. But I think tomorrow could still be a little bit breezy as well. It's 49 in Raleigh, but when you factor in that wind, it feels like low 40s, feels like 43 degrees right now. Still feels like freezing in South Hill, Virginia, feels like 38 in Southern Pines. So it is going to be a milder day compared to the last few days, but with the wind, it feels a little bit cool out there. 54 for the high temperature today. It is going to be windy through the afternoon and into the evening hours. And then once we get to the overnight hours, temperatures are going to stay above freezing, 34 degrees. And then it's pretty chilly Thursday and Friday. Another front comes in this weekend. I'll show you how cold it gets with that Arctic blast coming up.
Amy, thank you. Breaking right now at noon, we have learned that the suspect in an hours-long standoff and double shooting has died. This was the view from Sky 5 over Pine Ridge Road in Granville County during that standoff. WRAL's Carly Haynes joins us live from Granville County with an update on the conditions of the victims as well as the accused shooter.
We spoke with the brother of the accused shooter this morning. We are still working to learn the conditions of the two other people who were shot, but we're hoping to get that information when the Granville County Sheriff's Office gives us an update in about an hour. We know that the event started around 1:30 yesterday afternoon, and they ended at Pine Ridge Road in Granville County. The Sheriff's Office said the suspect shot two people, then barricaded himself inside a work truck. That led to an hours-long standoff, which ultimately came to an end when the Sheriff's Office said the suspect shot himself. Broadcastify radio traffic shows what police were observing during that standoff.
The vehicle's right here at the entrance of Pine Ridge. He is direct suspect vehicle was inside of Pine Ridge. We got movement in front of the truck. He does have a pistol in his hand. Does have a pistol. He's holding a pistol up. He's not directly pointing at somebody.
Now, the suspect's brother also said that everybody involved in this knew one another, were working to firm up their relationships between them when the Sheriff's Office gives that update at 1 o'clock. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Granville County.
In the last hour, a tense hearing at the state legislature. Republican lawmakers grilled Chapel Hill school leaders over accusations they are ignoring a state law called the Parents' Bill of Rights. WRAL's Flynn Snyder has been at the hearing and joins us live. Flynn, the district says they're complying.
Yeah, Michelle, the law in part bans books and other materials with LGBTQ themes from some elementary school curricula. A House Oversight Committee scheduled the hearing here after social media accounts posted footage of School Board Chair George Griffin. In them, Griffin described parts of the law as discriminatory, saying the district should not follow it. That led to this morning's fiery hearing where House Majority Leader Brendan Jones laid out examples that he alleges show violations, including a book called Santa's Husband that he says is available and a top pick for some elementary students in the district.
It's okay in your guidance?
I'm not aware that that book is.
You're the superintendent. You're not aware of what's going on in your school system? You don't know what's printed? It's trash. That's what good that is.
Meanwhile, committee Democrats pushed back, saying this is a manufactured crisis and that Republicans are using schools as culture war targets. Instead, some called for more funding for rural schools and criticized how today's hearing played out.
There was book throwing, there was cussing, there was all of that. And I've been elected here for going on 10 years. And I have to say to you, I don't apologize for anybody else, but I had secondhand embarrassment for the way this meeting was being conducted.
In his written testimony, Griffin told committee members, quote, "To my knowledge, Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools has always been and continues to be in compliance with the law." Now, Griffin went on to say that Chapel Hill's school board has since voted to implement most of the Parents' Bill of Rights. He also said that the board directed administration to come up with procedures for staff to follow the law, two other portions of the law not covered by that vote. The district says those elements are still in compliance and that they go above and beyond the language in the law. Flint Sider, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A man is charged with a child sex crime at a school in Rolesville. 25-year-old Armani Fields is charged with the sex offense with a child under the age of 15. The town of Rolesville says this happened at Rolesville Charter Academy back on November 6th. Fields was arrested a few weeks later on Thanksgiving. We're still trying to find out his relationship to that school.
And happening now here in the WRAL Live Center, today is a day that has been proclaimed to two local heroes. The Raleigh Mayor, Janet Cowell, now proclaiming today Larry Pickett Day in honor of Raleigh natives Larry Pickett Sr. and his son Larry Pickett Jr. for their bravery in rescuing a man trapped in a burning car in New York back in August. You may remember when we first reported on this. Of course, Larry Pickett Jr. is a Enloe High School graduate, now currently enrolled at United States Military Academy West Point, where he's a football player. Councilmember Corey Branch is presenting the proclamation right now on the mayor's behalf.
All right, thank you, Laura. A big win this morning for hospitals and doctors who treat Medicaid patients. Governor Josh Stein announced that he's ending reimbursement cuts to providers who serve Medicaid patients. WRAL state government reporter Will Doran spoke with the governor this morning, and he joins us now in studio. Will, these cuts were meant to address a multi-million-dollar shortfall for Medicaid. What's the long-term impact of ending them?
Well, Michelle, if the state legislature doesn't come back to Raleigh and vote to add funds, then Medicaid will run out of money in just a few months. Originally, Stein had told us Medicaid had enough money to last until May. This morning, however, he moved that timeline up substantially. Now funding, he says, could run out by March. And if that happens, there are 3 million North Carolinians who could lose their coverage to be able to go to the doctor or fill their prescriptions.
And Will, why is North Carolina on the verge of running out of money for such an important program?
Well, we're the only state in the country without a new budget, and that has left us operating on last year's smaller budget. So Stein had cut Medicaid payments to essentially buy the legislature more time to pass a budget. But this morning he said that strategy has been losing in court, and so now he is amping up pressure on Republican lawmakers to get the job done.
The General Assembly has failed to fully fund Medicaid, forcing cuts to provider rates and leaving people and providers stressed and vulnerable.
Now, Michelle, the thing is, state lawmakers actually agree on how much more money Medicaid needs this year. They've just let other political fights grind things to a halt.
And that will be a big story to follow in the coming months. But in the meantime, Will, what does today's announcement mean for Medicaid patients?
It's good news for Medicaid patients. It's also good news for the state's healthcare industry as a whole. Now, I reported last week that healthcare businesses have already started laying off employees because of these cuts, and that had raised concerns that some might start refusing to see Medicaid patients at all. That financial uncertainty for them is now over, at least for a few months, depending on whether the legislature can now agree on a long-term funding plan.
All right, thank you very much, Will. And for more on Stein's announcement this morning and reaction from those affected, you can head online to WRAL.com.
New at noon, we are getting a look inside the Raleigh Convention Center. Take a look at these photos. Renovation efforts are underway after last week's fire caused extensive water damage. Officials expect everything to be dried out by the end of this week and cleanup should be finished. A number of steps need to take place next in order to get the convention center back open. That includes installing new carpet, drywall, and furniture. Next, equipment will be removed from the roof by crane, and new cooling towers and refrigeration units will be installed. Officials say they are still aiming to keep all or part of January events. A reopening date has not yet been determined. Let's take a look at stocks this hour as investors await the Federal Reserve's decision to perhaps cut interest rates. The Dow is up almost to around 200 points. S&P 500 staying flat, but NASDAQ in the red just by a little bit, down 50 points. We'll continue to track these for you here on our Noon News.
And I'm Laura Levine here in the WRAL Live Center following a big update in the Jeffrey Epstein case here. A federal judge today granted a request by the Justice Department to unseal the grand jury records connected to Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case. So the ruling follows a decision by a separate judge who ordered the release of grand jury records related to Ghislaine Maxwell. In today's order, a New York judge had mentioned that a law passed by Congress last month to release all of its records connected to Epstein. Of course, right now, it's not clear when the records will be released. We will continue to follow this latest development here in the WRAL Live Center.
All right, thank you, Laura. Next at noon, preventing violence in Charlotte. The proposed changes from the city's mayor following a second high-profile stabbing there. Also, the importance of routine. Why doctors say creating one for your child now helps them in the future. Plus, Wake County school leaders are facing difficult decisions about their next budget that could lead to cuts. We'll break it down for you.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
It's a big day here at WRAL. 5 on Your Side is hosting an Affordable Care Act call-in event. Keely Arthur here now to share how you can get connected with health advocates. Keely, for free.
This is such a great event, Michelle. This is an annual event. 5 on Your Side partners with the North Carolina Navigator Consortium to help people get signed up for the Affordable Care Act marketplace plans. But this year is different. There are lots of healthcare changes in the marketplace for the upcoming year. So we expect this event to be especially popular. Here's what you need to do to get connected. You can simply call 855-733-3711. But hold off. This event starts at 4 p.m. and goes until 7 p.m. So it's going to be very busy. I'm going to give you this advice. Call early, call often, call right at 4 so that way you can beat the people that are getting home from work. Now, again, this event starts less than 4 hours. And remember, it is advantageous to sign up now for health insurance because you can make changes to your plan for next month. Again, the number to call, 855-733-3711. We're going to have this number up on our website as well in case you forget.
An incredibly helpful resource thanks to 5 on Your Side. Keely, thank you. Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyle says the city's light rail system may move away from an open platform design. The comment comes as leaders deal with security concerns following a second high-profile stabbing. The security contractor doubled personnel from 108 to 219. The Charlotte area transit system also promised utility task vehicle and bike patrols, as well as increased fare evasion checks. Charlotte's mayor says leaders are considering several changes to prevent future violence.
We need to revisit if we're going to build new transit lines, and we are going to build one because we've committed that to the northern towns. We're going to have to build one that is already planned as a safe space to be.
Multiple council members have called on the State General Assembly to pass a budget that will provide funding assistance.
And happening now here in the WRAL Live Center on this noon, the Trump administration must stop deploying California National Guard troops to Los Angeles. That is the latest development coming from a federal judge today. U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer in San Francisco granted a preliminary injunction sought by California officials who opposed President Trump's extraordinary move to use state guard troops without the governor's approval to further his immigration enforcement efforts. Now, California had argued that conditions in L.A. had changed since Trump first took command of the troops and deployed them in June. The administration initially called up more than 4,000 National Guard troops in California, and since October, that number has trickled down to a few hundred.
A man charged with setting a Virginia councilman on fire in July is mentally competent to stand trial. Defense lawyers requested the mental evaluation for Shotzi Buck Hayes in October. Buck Hayes faces numerous charges, including first-degree attempted murder for attacking Lee Vogler. Investigators say Buck Hayes thought Vogler was having an affair with his wife. Buck Hayes is scheduled to appear in court again next month. An Army gynecologist charged with secretly filming dozens of female patients at Fort Hood. Dr. Blaine McGraw had been under investigation since October when a patient complained about him to Fort Hood officials. The charges come 1 month after a former patient sued McGraw. The lawsuit also accuses the Army of allowing him to continue practice despite complaints dating back years. Fort Hood officials deny those allegations. The Trump administration is eliminating the Calibri font from official documents, citing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Calibri is considered easier to comprehend for people with reading issues because the font letters are simpler shaped and wider. Its use was applauded by accessibility advocates. Documents from the State Department will now return to the Times New Roman typeface. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the move will, quote, restore decorum and professionalism to the department's written work. The daughter of a Venezuelan opposition leader accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on her mother's behalf this morning.
2025 to step forward.
Ana Karina Sosa was met with applause as she accepted the diploma and gold medal for her mother. Maria Corina Machado won the Peace Prize for her struggle to achieve a democratic transition in her native country of Venezuela. She has been in hiding and has not been seen in public since January 9th. The chair of the Norwegian Nobel Committee confirmed that Machado is safe. Well, some families in our community are unable to purchase warm winter gear this season, but you can help through WRAL's annual Coats for the Children campaign. Now through December 31st, we need your help to gather as many coats, hats, and gloves as possible. To find a neighborhood Jiffy Lube drop-off location near you or make a monetary donation, you can scan a code on your screen. You can also go to WRAL.com/coats. Help WRAL and the Salvation Army spread warmth and hope. Those coats definitely needed these past couple of days, even today.
Yeah, just look at December, right?
Yes.
And our very cold start this morning. Amy, we started off in the 30s, but the wind chill, it felt like it was in the 20s.
That's right. At one point in time, it felt like 22 this morning in Raleigh. So it was a cold start. We're going into the 50s this afternoon, though, so milder later today. It'll still feel chilly, though. I stepped outside and the wind was just whipping right through me, and it was still pretty chilly outside, even though it's a little bit milder compared to the last couple of days. This is a live look at Fenton and Cary, the ice skating rink, so festive there. The sun's shining right now, just a few high clouds around. Town by town, it's 49 degrees right now in Cary. It's 46 in Garner, 47 in Holly Springs, 50 in Fayetteville, 48 in Rocky Mount. So it's still on the cooler side, and when you factor in the winds, this is what it feels like. It feels like 41 right now in Roxborough. It feels like 43 in Raleigh. It feels like 45 in Goldsboro. So a little bit of a wind chill out there today. We should stay in the low to maybe mid-50s this afternoon. And what you'll really notice is the wind. It's already pretty breezy. We have sustained winds anywhere from around 15 to 25 miles per hour across the viewing area right now. We'll have some gusts up to 35 miles per hour as we head into the second half of our afternoon, right ahead of that cold front that's going to arrive later on today. Here's where the front is right now. Now, when it arrives here, it will not have any moisture with it. It will be very moisture starved. We have some dry air in place. So all of this activity, it's not going to make it to the ground ground once it gets here. This cold front's just going to bring us some cooler temperatures by the time we get to tomorrow. Now, where we could see some precipitation is in the North Carolina mountains. That's where they have winter weather advisories posted, some snow possible, and even in parts of West Virginia, they have blizzard warnings in effect. So they're going to get some heavy snow across the northeastern part of the country. We'll get perhaps 2 to 4 inches of snow in the northern part of our mountains overnight tonight as that front arrives. But again, around here, it is going to remain very quiet. We do not expect any precipitation, but it is going to be breezy as that front approaches us. Let's jump to Saturday. We have a couple of parades. We have the Durham Christmas Parade. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures will range between 42 to 49 during the parade. It'll be mostly sunny for that one. And then you go down south a little bit, down to Cary. You could go to both parades, I guess, if you wanted to. Cary's parade starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Lots of sunshine and comfortable. Temperatures will be in the low 50s, ranging from about 52 to 53 degrees. So some beautiful weather for all the holiday events happening over the weekend. Now for today, the big story will be the gusty winds gusting up to about 35 miles per hour. Notice tonight it does not get as cold. We stay above freezing in the triangle, 34 for the low temperature. And then chilly in the afternoons for Thursday and Friday, highs in the 40s. We go up to 55 Saturday, but it cools down again Sunday. And then Arctic air returns Monday with a low temperature back down to 22.
Burr. All right, Amy, thank you. Delivery tech scam. Thieves are targeting phones while people are awaiting their holiday packages. Today on WRAL News at 4, what to look out for so you don't fall victim. And moving forward, the town of Apex Council taking the next step with the Viridia project and the North Carolina Children's Hospital campus. Tonight on WRAL News at 6, the concerns people living in the area have and how city leaders plan to address them. A week after calling affordability a Democrat hoax, President Trump is touting his administration's efforts to bring down prices. A recent Gallup poll reveals only 36% of Americans think that he's doing a good job with the economy. 62% disapprove. Trump promised a nation weary of high inflation to bring prices down. But according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the price for everything from coffee to homes is up, a claim the president refuted during a stop in Pennsylvania.
They use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability, and everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously.
The White House pins cost of living concerns on the Biden administration. However, nearly a year into Trump's second term, some say that characterization is losing its effectiveness with the public. And the president's tour comes as a new report finds that more Americans are turning to GoFundMe for help with basic needs such as food. According to the crowdfunding platform's annual report, fundraisers for essential needs jumped 20%. Food and housing costs tops the list. Monthly bills were the second fastest growing category in 2025. Do you eat dinner with your kids around the same time every day? Maybe you always read a book with them before bed. These kinds of family routines can make a big difference.
It creates connection, and connection is the basis for a lot of really important things in childhood and child development. In addition to that connection, it creates opportunity for structure. It allows the kids to recognize some predictability and knowing what to expect. And there's a lot of long-term benefits found to be related to that.
There's certainly comfort in routine. Experts say when a family doesn't have a routine, it can lead to a lot of issues for a child. For example, they could become more disruptive at school or start to feel anxious since they never know what to expect. Research shows it can even impact their self-esteem and their independence.
So it could be your routine of driving to school in the morning or walking to the school bus, evening dinners, bedtime routines, structure around checking homework, chores. It really can be flexible for what works with your family.
And it is never too late to start a family routine. However, there will likely be an adjustment period. Coming up, difficult decisions, how uncertainty about state and federal funding could affect your child's education. Making history, Australia becomes the first country to ban social media for children under 16. Reaction from teens and the parents who pushed for the law. And here's a look at your winning North Carolina education lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Wake County Schools is facing difficult decisions about their next budget. Today, the school board will hear from district leaders about the school system's financial outlook. As WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains, the school board is facing challenges over both state and federal funding, and that could lead to cuts.
Today, school leaders are hashing out the details for next year's budget that could impact your child's school. Discussions that are happening here inside the district headquarters are causing these school leaders to make some tough calls. School leaders are facing more than a $60 million increase in expected costs for next school year. That's partly because they expect employee salaries and benefits to go up. Then on top of that, state and federal funds are still in question. School leaders are now planning to make cuts. They say these cuts won't impact any educational functions that serve students in the classroom. Instead, they would eliminate vacant positions and repurpose jobs that are already on the payroll. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst explains why school leaders are forced to do more with less.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes, largely because the school board has been, fairly generous for the budget for the last few years. There was some federal stimulus dollars that helped with that sense of comfort when it came to the budget in recent years, but those dollars went away.
For more info on the timeline for when board members can make their final decision about the budget, head to WRAL.com and click the education section. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, and Cary.
A new push in North Carolina aims to address the child care shortage by making it easier for teachers to enter the workforce. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is launching 16 child care academies. It's a partnership with colleges and universities across the state. The free program covers key health and safety trainings like CPR, first aid, SIDS prevention, playground safety, and reporting welfare concerns.
The point of these child care academies is to provide a seamless process for new educators to meet licensure requirements. Programs can offer more spots to families. Many of our larger programs are under-enrolled because they can't find enough teachers.
And some of these programs are already up and running. For more information on how to get Welcome back. Time now is 12:38 on your Wednesday afternoon. You're looking live at Fenton. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. This Saturday, an all-student-run charity ball will help raise money for a local nonprofit. The Enloe Charity Ball in Raleigh is celebrating, get this, 20 years of helping to better our community. And the nonprofit it's highlighting this year is also celebrating 20 years, so a doubly significant milestone. Joining us now is Shaylin Fafaria and Noe Rourke to explain what goes into planning this wonderful event and how it's doing a lot of good. So great to have you both with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Congratulations on this 20-year milestone. Tell me, what does it feel like to be able to be a part of such a significant milestone?
Yeah, I mean, as 20 years approaches, Enloe Student Council started this back in 2004. So there was a discrepancy because we didn't have Charity Ball, obviously, in 2020. Right. So that's why we're celebrating our 20th.
If you need health insurance but don't know where to start, there's a great opportunity coming up later today. 5 on Your Side is partnering with the North Carolina Navigator Consortium to help you get signed up for health insurance you can afford. Keely Arthur is back with how WRAL is helping you navigate the process for free today. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Renee. You know I love this event, and with a big deadline coming up Monday, 5 on Your Side is partnering with that North Carolina Navigator Consortium for free today to help make sure you're signed up for the health insurance plan that fits your family best. By now, you know there are probably big changes coming to health coverage in 2026. Volunteers will be answering your phone calls from 4 until 7 p.m. tonight to prepare you to walk through those changes if you're feeling confused or unsure how you might be impacted.
We're the ones that are keeping up with what's going on, keeping up with the changes, and our job is to kind of just really make this as easy as possible for people to understand their options and then make the choice that's best for them and their family.
Yeah, call at 4. You might get a hold of Willis. He is passionate like all these other volunteers today. The biggest change to all of this is the cost with the expiring of those tax credit subsidies. So from 4 till 7 tonight, you can get your questions answered for free. Navigators can help you with different plan questions or set up appointments to get you signed up for coverage. The number to call 855-733-3711. Again, those phone lines will open at 4 p.m. I think this is going to be a very busy year, so call early, call often. You can also find the number on WRAL.com, where we will post some answers to the most common questions regarding coverage changes next year.
Always super helpful. Thank you, Keely. Well, if you find yourself itching, you're not alone. Winter temperatures can wreak havoc on your skin, but there are ways to find relief. Most products on the market are effective. Emollients like ointments and petroleum jelly can help seal moisture into the skin, and creams that have more oil than water can replenish skin to keep it healthy.
Using mild soaps, gentle cleansers, avoid the really harsh astringents, toners, perfumes, scented types of cleansers that can actually help irritate the skin.
It's a good idea to adjust your skincare regimen this time of year. Dermatologists suggest continuing to use sunscreen daily, even in the winter. Climate change may be costing people sleep, and researchers predict it's only going to get worse. A new study shows higher daytime or nighttime temperatures slightly reduce the amount of sleep a person gets. Scientists project that by the year 2099, people could be losing up to 24 hours of sleep each year due to rising heat. Hot weather prevents the body from cooling down, which can trigger a stress response and reduces the time that a person spends in deep sleep. I don't think we get enough deep sleep. That's
true,
for sure.
yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to sleep a few more hours,
Yes,
right, on
yes.
this shift.
Yeah, especially when it's cold outside.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. And you don't want to get out of bed, but you have to. We all have to adult, Amy.
That's right. Man, it's tough sometimes.
I know.
All right, well, this is our next weather maker. It's a cold front that arrives later today. Ahead of that, we have the strong southerly flow, and that's going to bring us some gusts, 30 to 35 miles per hour. And then behind it, temperatures are going to cool off again by the time we get tomorrow. I know it's a little cool out there today, but it will be even cooler tomorrow with highs back in the 40s. This is a live look at Pittsburgh from the Doherty's Pub and Restaurant. A little bit of high cloud cover there, but some blue sky mixed in, a little bit of sun as well. It's 49 degrees right now in Raleigh and Durham, 50 in Southern Pines. It's 48 degrees right now in Rocky Mount, but when you factor in the breeze, it feels cooler. 22 mile per hour gusts right now in Rocky Mount. Gusts are now up to 28 miles per hour up in Roxborough, and it will remain breezy through the day today. We'll have gusty winds through the evening. Now, the strongest winds will be between now and probably 5 or 6 o'clock. So gusts 30 to 35 miles per hour will be possible for the remainder of the afternoon. It starts to settle down a little bit by the time we get to 6 or 7 o'clock this evening, but it remains breezy overnight tonight, and that's going to help to keep the temperatures up just a little bit. It'll still be cold, but not as cold as we've been the last couple of mornings. It's a windy day out there. Temperatures will stay in the low to mid 50s this afternoon, and through the evening, if you want to maybe take the dog out for a walk, it's not too cold. Temperatures will be in the 40s during the evening hour. Overnight tonight, we'll get down to about 34 in Raleigh, 33 in Durham, a little bit colder in our northern communities. We could get down to 29 in Roxborough. The high temperature today, low to mid 50s expected, but then look at Thursday and Friday. Highs are back down into the 40s. So coat weather again, 55 for the high on Saturday, and then upper 40s for highs on Sunday. Morning lows, 34 overnight tonight, so that's not that bad. It's above freezing and really close to normal. 30 on Friday, so a little bit colder, and then not too bad Saturday, 35, 41 on Sunday. Sunday, we have another Arctic front that moves through, and it drops our overnight low down to 22 for Monday morning. So it is going to be a very cold start to the day on Monday, and highs will struggle to get up to 40 on Monday afternoon. Durham Christmas Parade is this Saturday. We'll have beautiful weather for that, mostly sunny. It'll be festively cool. Temperatures will be in the 40s for that parade. And then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's the Cary Christmas Parade. Lots of sunshine, and temperatures will actually be pretty comfortable in the low 50s. That's pretty nice for parade weather. You don't need that big puffy coat, but a coat will be nice. A lighter coat will be nice. It's going to be chilly for the next couple of days with highs in the 40s. Again, we're back in the 50s Saturday, but it's cold again by the time we get to Sunday.
All right, Amy, thank you. Here's a live look from our WRAL studio tower. Look at that cool mix of sun and clouds there. And we'll have your top stories to go after the break. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. The suspect in an hours-long standoff and double shooting in Granville County has died. That's according to family. This all unfolded on Pine Ridge Road yesterday. Officials say the suspect shot 2 people, then barricaded himself inside a work truck for hours before shooting himself. We still don't know the conditions of the 2 other people. The sheriff's office is holding a news conference this afternoon where we hope to learn more.
And a man is charged with a child sex crime for an incident officials say happened at a school in Rolesville. 25-year-old Armani Fields is charged with a sex offense with a child under the age of 15. The town of Rolesville says this happened at Rolesville Charter Academy in November. We are still trying to find out Fields' relationship to that school.
A tense hearing at the state legislature today. Republican lawmakers grilled Chapel Hill school leaders over accusations they are ignoring a state law called the Parents' Bill of Rights. The district says it is complying. The law, in part, bans books and other materials with LGBTQ themes from elementary schools. More on this story on our evening news starting at 4.
Our pet of the day comes to us from Cat Angels Pet Adoptions. Meet Peanut, a friendly